Hey guys, Jacob Howard here, and today we are going to look at how you can start practicing FPV droning from the comforts of your own home. Whenever people ask me how they should get started with FPV, they ask what parts to buy. I did the same thing. However, you shouldn't even be focused on the parts until you have an understanding about if FPV is something you are really interested in. Just because it looks amazing on YouTube doesn't mean it is the right fit for you. So, there are two things I recommend when starting out. First off, you need to know what FPV is. This section of the course will explain all of that to you. Secondly, you need to start practicing flying before you buy your first part. This is best done in an FPV simulator. The one I recommend is Liftoff. The link will also be down below. Its graphics are very good, and I have found it to transfer very well to real-world experience. The best part is you can play it on your computer with a game console controller like a PS4 remote, which is what I do. You will sacrifice a little realism using a remote like this, but not very much. As a quick side note, FPV flying, even when on a screen, can often induce dizziness. Usually this goes away with practice. However, I found acupressure bands to take away that problem, specifically C bands. You will probably want to wear these a while, and eventually you will probably find out you don't need them anymore. I will include a link for this as well down below. So let's jump over to the computer and let you guys see how you can get this up and running, and we will go through a few practice rounds. Okay guys, so I have jumped on to store.steampowered.com. And then I searched up here for Liftoff, and I got these results here. So I'm going to click into Liftoff FPV Drone Racing. And right here is where you can add it to cart and buy it. You will need to install Steam before you do this. So I'm not going to go into all the details on that, but basically you install Steam, buy Liftoff, and then install it. So now we're going to jump into Liftoff so you guys can see what it looks like there. Okay, now that I have Liftoff turned on, what I do is I take a USB cable and I attach it to my PlayStation 4 controller. It's going to connect there. Setting it up. Okay, now if we go into options here and game, we can adjust some of these settings. So for example, I check off enable God mode. I check off camera noise. I use on-screen display. That way you can see your battery levels and all that stuff. I do show joystick overlay in OSD. That way you can see the stick movements. And I do battery simulation. I automatically skip goggle animation in the beginning, and I show game triggers. And of course, I switch the unit system to Imperial. In graphics, you can choose what you want to do, what display you're using, what resolution. I think it comes at a resolution automatically. I think it's like 720 or something. So it looks really bad. So you actually have to go in here and change that. And quality setting to beautiful. And I just check different settings here to make it just look better, more realistic. I have my sounds basically turned off. If we go over here to controls, we can go into controller and you can calibrate your controller. So like I said, I'm just using a PS4 remote since most of you guys will probably have that. Okay, so now I can calibrate the controller. It is worth noting I did have to actually restart Liftoff to get this to show. So you might have to do different things to just, get it to work. So I'm going to calibrate it, click start, and basically it's going to tell me what to do. It's going to tell me to center all sticks, assign axis throttle, center all sticks. And now that it's calibrated, I can test it out. So basically I just want to make sure that everything's good and everything looks like it's responding just fine. Yep, everything looks good. So I'm going to click save. Controller calibration saved. Going to click exit. Then I'm going to come up here to free flight. Click that. We can now use the controller to move things around. So I'm going to move over. I'm going to go to one of my favorites, Bando City. I'm going to click X on the PS4 remote. And I'm not going to do a track. I'm just going to do free flight basically. Okay, so then in the bottom left corner it says drone disarmed. Move throttle down to arm. I'll show you later how you can adjust these settings, but right now all I do is I move the throttle down and I take off. Now I'm going to pinch the remote. I'm going to start flying. It's been a little while since I've flown in a simulator, so I'm not going to be doing anything crazy. But basically you can see my stick overlays on the bottom, right in the center, so you can see what I'm doing. So that's really useful when you're trying to figure out how the drone moves and stuff, is you can watch afterwards. You can record your DVR of your simulator and you can watch what you were doing with stick movements to make it look a certain way. Simulators are where you're going to want to spend time trying out new moves. That way you can crash as much as you need to while you're trying to learn and you don't crash your real drone. Simulators where I practiced for hours and hours before I really started flying my normal drone, but that's where I learned a lot of my moves. See, like right there, just crashed. That would have been a really nasty crash with the normal drone. But I taught myself how to do dives and power loops and all that kinds of stuff right on simulators. So you're definitely going to notice a difference between when you're flying on a simulator and when you're flying in real life. Obviously, flying in real life is a lot more stressful because, you're risking your drone. And there's also physics that change. But for the most part, if you put in hours into a simulator, you're going to have a lot better experience flying for the first time or really putting in the hours in your real drone because you won't be near as stressed about moves that you aren't able to accomplish. Okay, so I'm going to actually move into a different one. So I can go to level selection and I can change my drone, I can change the game mode, and I can change the location. Pine Valley, I really like doing that because I've also flown it in real life in between all pine trees and stuff, so it's really, really fun. So I'm going to try that out real quick. And the simulator will try and recreate what a crash would be like. Oftentimes it's not accurate because, like right there, that would have taken the drone out. You know, at least it would have bent an arm. I know from experience because I've hit a tree like that. So I'm going to run through some branches here. And you can see in the bottom right corner, it's showing my propellers as red because it's showing how much damage those propellers have taken. So like now I've lost propellers. So there's nothing I can do because I lost 3 propellers. So I'm going to go again here. Let's see how long I can survive. And I'm out. Okay, I'm going to go into some other ones here. I want to show you guys some of the other cool things you can do. I'm going to click quit, click yes. Okay, so now I'm back on the main menu. And once your controller's connected, you can go into options and click controls and then buttons. So in here, you can decide on the controller what button does what thing. So something I like to do, for example, is arming right here. I like that to be the letter X. Okay, and then reset. I like that being R1. Down here, I do turtle mode, which I like being R2, so on and so forth. Then you can set this up however you want. Really, really nice feature. Click save, and you're good to go. Now you can fly with those new settings. Okay, there's lots of other things you can do here, including in tools. You can go under workbench, and you can create your own custom drone. They have lots of blueprints and just regular ones that you can go through. I will try and create you guys one that matches closely to the drones we'll be building in this course. That way you guys can practice with an actual drone that's very similar to the one that you'll be flying once you make it. So look out for that. But for now, I'm just using the Armatan Chameleon 5-inch. I can select that, or I can go into other ones and look at the different options they have. I'm going to click exit. Okay, you can also go into tutorials, quick play, free flight, race, freestyle, lots of different things you can do on this game, multiplayer. Right now, I just wanted to show you guys free flight so you can start practicing. And if you guys want, definitely record your computer screen and stuff so I can watch you guys' first flights, because it's really cool having direct video recording or DVR of your first flights. You can look back and see how far you've progressed. Okay, so there you have the liftoff simulator. There are lots of other simulators out there, including a free one made by Sync FPV with the world builder Worlds Adrift. I've not really tried this one out, but it's worth a try since it's free. I will include a link below for his video about his free FPV simulator. If you guys have any questions, definitely let me know, and have fun simulator flying.